one, action.
Hello, and welcome this evening to G-Spot, where we are bringing you our discussion tonight live about prostitution and who's to blame. I'm here with these fabulous ladies. Starting all the way over on one end, we have Chloe Cohen.
Hello.
Adriana Pereira.
Hey.
And on the other end is Tara Little.
Hi.
I am Ermine Nomir, and let's get into this discussion on selling yourself or others selling themselves for sex. Is there an issue with it? What's wrong with selling whatever it is that God gave you? Anyone want to take that on? Because here's where I'm at. Go ahead, Chloe.
Well, I was going to say, it's definitely a personal choice, and I think most women in that position are in some kind of desperate situation where they can't find work any other way, and they know that sex always sells, so, you know, if they're not a stripper, might as well prostitute yourself, and you get a little bonus sometime, right?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
that's
please tell me the bonus. I gotta know.
There are many other ways to sell yourself. You don't have to sell yourself in terms of sex, because God gave you a brain to obtain knowledge so you could get a proper job rather than just selling your body to men for money. There are other ways to make money.
All right, so there's other ways to make money, but I guess I don't understand what's wrong with this way to make money, because it's the oldest profession in the book. Tara, you want to chime in on this one?
I mean, I'm kind of at both. I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. Who am I to say that you can't? You know what I mean? Me personally, I couldn't see myself selling my body for sex, for gifts, money, whatever. But some people love it. They do it till they're 50 years old. So I'm not going to judge you if you do it. It's just not my personal forte.
Okay, but I have to ask the flip side of it. And I don't mean to always play the devil's advocate, but one of the reasons they keep saying there's a real negative side of prostitution, and that's what it does to us women in general, right? It makes us maybe more of objects, and obviously the lady in the situation, and I'm talking lady right now, but I'm going to go to men and boys here in a moment too. What is the issue, or one of them could be, Tara, that it demeans femininity?
Yeah, people can look at it like that. A lot of people do, actually. But like I said, I mean, I don't know, I'm just not a big person to judge other people for no matter what you do. As long as you're not interfering in my life, go for it. But you're right, a lot of people look at it in a demeaning way, like, oh, you're a hoe, you're getting paid, you're a whore, whatever. The hell is their job? I mean, instead of going punching the clock from 9 to 5, they're doing whatever they're laying down and doing what they do from whatever and get paid swell, some of them. So I don't know. I guess it's just all personal aspect of people look at it.
But look at it. Okay, so I want to come back to something that you said earlier, Chloe, and then definitely with you as well, Adriana. People are getting paid well. There's a theory that in a lot of them, maybe some desperate situations. I'll get that there's a group of women who are in desperate situations. That's what I want to talk about. But I want you guys to always be thinking of the ones who aren't necessarily in desperate situations and maybe upscale call girls and are taking this to a whole nother level. So let's talk about first and open it up with the conversation. If anybody here online wants to chime in, please do. Let's talk about the people who are in the desperate situations. Go ahead.
Well, I think you've got a lot of probably child abuse victims or people who were molested as children who, you know, don't know what real love or positive sexual experiences are, you know, and they don't have the self-esteem, you know. I think a lot of people are just like, whatever, it's just my body.
Yeah, they don't have any self-worth.
And they don't know that, you know, that's power. I think there's a lot of people who just don't have the self-strength to try something else because that works, it's easy, you know. People are always going to pay for sex. I don't have to go find like a real job. But then again, when you're talking about like the high end, the high scale, Heidi Fleiss, you know, that kind of shit, those women, I think, really are getting off on it themselves. Like, hell yeah, look at this power I have. Look at how these men want me. I think there's some women who like the attention, who like men wanting them. So I think there's such a wide range of what is wrong or right, you know?
No, absolutely. Okay, so I want to go with you on this one because definitely, Hadriana, you bring in the youth, and from your standpoint, it's very much, it seemed like matter of fact. There's just some things you do not do. Tell us more about that if you are in a struggling situation or if you are one of these high-class call girls. What angle do you want to play?
Well, as Chloe just said, that there are people in these desperate situations, or they've been molested or abused as children or whatever. There's counseling for that. You know, that's why there's counseling. You could fix those problems. You don't have to go and feel empowered by selling your body to men, because the topic is that is the oldest profession or whatever. Back in the day, men were a lot more in charge back then, so they would have been selling their woman however they wanted, or taking advantage of women and all that. So it's like back then women didn't really have much of a choice. So even though that was going on back then, like, things changed now. So
today we have a little bit more power, we have a little bit more choice, we have to own that, and which is an interesting perspective. And here's the one that I wanted to add to it. I'm from a third world country. I'm from Cameroon. Of course, nobody wants to necessarily say. And my mom grew up there, and I was fortunate enough to grow up here in the States. But one of the challenges that she had is you don't know sometimes what you will do. And I'm not saying that my mom sold herself. That's not what I'm saying. You don't know what you'll do when there's no food, when there's, you know, babies to take care of and feed, when there are you know, just a multitude of challenges. And I think we've all here, we sit back and we say, we kind of have it going on. There's a roof over our head. We've been educated to a degree. There's a comfortable place. We're not meeting those base needs that Maslow talks about. So when you are crying out for those, and you just have to give a little bit of this to get a little bit of that, I mean, I don't know. I've had sex for less. Yeah, from the standpoint of like, and I've had bad sex for less, right? I just wanted it. So, you know, and so I just wonder sometimes if we're not putting, you know, we're definitely out there putting our judgment, but what do we do for people who are in those challenging situations so that they're not having to do that? And then we'll talk about the men's side, who at the end of the day, or the people who are visiting prostitutes, what it is that they see. So 2 questions out for the group. I'm going to kick it over to Tara, if you don't mind, in the end. You're in a desperate situation, and I know where you stand, where it's, hey, you got to do what you got to do, but how do we keep people out of these desperate situations?
Well, when you mentioned educated women do it, I think I don't know, I think once they get that taste of that money, and it's, like you said, it's easy money, they do forget that they can probably go out and get a job here or there. But like in a third world country, it's different. Women in third world countries still don't have the respect and opportunities that we have here in the States. So women over there, like I said, I think, like, you're right, it's just out of desperation they have to do it, and they have to take care of them. Here, I believe a woman here, even though we aren't looked at like men are, we can do whatever we want to do. That's just my opinion. If we try, we can succeed. But as far as to keep them from doing that, honestly, I don't know. All
right, because I'm going to kick this to the rest of you guys within this, and we're going to start talking to some questions that are coming in from the stream. But really, the police this weekend just put out an amazing sting where they were able to capture, it looks like 104 suspected pimps, and save 77 girls and 2 boys from the ages of 13 to 17 years old. So they started to round up youth. And I think the youth here could be seen as the same as the third world, where there's people in desperate situations. Talk to me about the perspective that you have on these kids who have found themselves, unfortunately, in the paws of these pimps. and I'm leaving that one. I'm going to start off, and I'm asking both of you guys, because you don't have kids, and then I'm going to go to us two moms and give the feedback. Do you guys have any perspective on these 13 to 17-year-olds? Because you're not that far from that age, Adriana. You are the youth. You're the one who didn't, you're closest in age.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I don't know. I'm still trying to process.
I know it's definitely a lot to process. I mean, I'll talk from a mom, Chloe, if you don't want to chime in on this one.
No, all I was gonna say is for a teenager to feel like they have to prostitute themselves, I feel like it's either a learned behavior from maybe their mother was a sex worker, or that something really traumatic has happened to them where they think this is all they can do. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Maybe they're forced to do it too. I don't know.
That's a good point too. There could be some force of it. I'll chime in. If anybody else wants to chime in, just let me know. It's actually one of the scariest things to me as a mom, to believe that there are youth that are out there that see the need and need to do this. And you sit back and you say, what is it that I could do, that anyone could do, so that they find a safe place to be, as opposed to out on the streets and being taken advantage of. One of the things, we have a comment here from Eric Cave, and he wants to talk about the other side, the people who are visiting prostitutes. And there's a couple of instances that he talks about here. What about the people who, for whatever reason, can't get laid, such as they have social disorders that prevent them from making those romantic connections? Where do they go to experience the joys of sex other than to visit a prostitute? So I want to shift it now, because we've talked a little bit about prostitution. Let's talk about the guys. Who is to blame there, from the standpoint of there's people who can benefit from the profession? Are they at fault? And let's not talk about youth for a second here. Let's just talk about 18 plus.
So you're asking, are the guys to blame for women prostituting? Is that what you're asking?
There's
I
that
just want to be
question,
sure.
but specifically what I'm asking is, I'm not looking at to blame for a second, but what about people who can benefit from it and have a real need to visit a prostitute?
Okay, so I'm just gonna example some geeky, nerdy, 20-year-old who's never been laid in his life, doesn't think it's ever gonna happen, so he decides he's gonna go to the prostitute. Is that what we mean?
I think a little bit more so than that. Somebody who has a disorder that makes it like he stammers the whole way in talking to women. He maybe they like to do a certain kinky thing with sex that they can get nobody else to do, so they never feel that arousal. Like, could they not get their jollies from a prostitute and then not go out and commit sexual crimes because of it?
That's interesting.
Yeah, something to think about.
And it's definitely, for me, the exception than it is the rule. So that's why it's a real tough one. Like, we're already headed into gray area before we've even touched the white area. So let's come back to that one. Eric, we'll get to that one by the end of the show. We'll give everyone some time to think. Who's to blame for it? Let's talk now for a quick second. There's guys, there's girls that are involved in this profession. Why do people visit a prostitute other than these exceptions? Why would someone pay for sex? Because I was just in Vegas, and then I was in the Dominican Republic, two places where apparently people like to do this. People even travel to pay for this. And there's parts of Nevada where it's legal. Why do people do that? What's wrong with it?
We're desperate. I mean, I am pretty desperate, but I'm not about to go, pay somebody to, get me off. I'm not that desperate. But I guess there are people out there who feel so desperate that all they can do is find someone to pay. If they pay this person, they're sure to do what they want, right?
Okay, so there's something about what they want. They're not getting what they want.
Okay.
These days you don't even have to pay for that. You just go to a bar and pick up somebody and take them home. The way things are going.
Yeah,
these days,
but
it's
you know what?
people-
I don't know that a lot of women are having booty sex that easily, right? Like, if that's what you like, you know, you may not be able to pick that up from the bar. That might be something tougher to broach.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, the way things are going these days,
Yeah.
a lot of that is going
Might
on.
be a little easier than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know so much that it's desperation. I don't know. Have you ever seen? I've watched the show The Bunny Ranch. It's located in Nevada, and there was, I mean, married men, corporate men. I mean, like these escorts, like the congressmen and stuff like that. They're not desperate, really. They have wives at home. So, I mean, I am kind of curious as to why do you need to go pay a woman? And some of them have, like, reoccurring, like, their favorites. Like, they spend thousands upon, they spend a year's worth of income on one woman. And I'm curious as to why do you feel like you have to do that? I'm kind of curious.
I think she nailed it. You know, the wives aren't giving them what they need for
You guys,
some reason.
I have heard of so many marriages that they'll tell me we haven't had sex in a year or two. We have sex every couple of years. I'm like, come again?
Yeah, right. That's what they're trying for.
But there are some that have, I mean, I don't know, there's some that have healthy sex lives at home, but they still thrive to go out and pay these high-class hookers, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, escorts. I don't personally get it. I don't know, but
We had, was it Governor Spitzer?
Spitzer, yeah. Spitzer was one, yeah.
He had a wife, probably could pick up any girl at the bar.
Exactly. He could have went and had a private, you know, relationship, not paid, saved all that money. I mean, as a wife, I'd have been so shitty. You could have gave me
not
that.
about the
and
money.
did what you wanted to do.
So it's not about the money, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Yeah.
Well, people said it was about companionship.
Yeah.
And that's very true, too. Like, I just had a flash of that movie. What was it called? Like, Loverboy or something? In the 80s, about this pizza delivery boy who kind of became like a male prostitute and was delivering pizzas. And if they asked for like extra anchovies.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Wow, I got to get a new pizza joint. Like,
I know, I can't remember the name of it. I know what you're talking about.
But it was interesting because, you know, the concept was all these, you know, married women to these very successful men who needed this companionship, so they'd order their pizza with extra anchovies or whatever, and he'd come over and dance with them, or, you know, it wasn't sexual, it was just about, like, having those things that was missing, and
I wonder this, whether we, like, when we get married, when we get into some of these relationships, do we give up, because per se, what it is we really want for what it is society says is appropriate? Like, at the end of the day, I got to believe some of us just want to get with, like guys, there's some that just want to get with a black chick. No way that can ever happen, right? So keep them on the side. There's some that just want to get with the full-figured gal. There's some that just, I mean, that's what they're really into, but at the end of the day, societally or, you know, socio-economically, it would be a disadvantage to them, so they don't do it. And it's always, like, lingering there. It's always there. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I'm playing that one, too. When I was in Vegas, I was with a crew of amazing guys. They were just so much fun, and one other role. But anyway, the guys were just like, it was their intention to pick up, right? And they're like, there's no way I'm paying for it. I don't even get that. And, you know, but all of these guys had what I call a bit more swagger, right? They could talk to the ladies. They can go through it. What about if you are a guy that Eric mentioned later, that you can't have those conversations? It is so unnerving.
That would suck.
It sure would.
And, like, women and men who are like that need some kind of professional help, in my opinion, and try to learn how to work around it. But in the meantime, I guess they're looking for prostitutes to help them gain self-confidence. I don't know.
No, but okay, I'll give an example for a second. That I, for the longest time, had the biggest fear of heights. No matter what it was, you weren't catching me all up there. Like, it wasn't going to happen, right? And so I can take that same fear and know what that feels like, and imagine if I'm one of those guys who can't talk to girls, or I'm one, whatever. If I have that same challenge, I'm going, oh my gosh, and I'm never going to be able to escape that without a little bit of help, without somebody who, like, at least touches my hand, without somebody, you know what I mean, like, little by little gets me through it. But we can keep going down that path for a quick second here. Let's start talking about some of the questions that we're getting in the chat rooms here. What about women, us, who feel powerful for being so dominating? Like, I'm going to tell you, so, like, the most power I've ever had in my life was being on stage. And, like, maybe it wasn't ripping my clothes off, but there's something when all eyes are on you, when somebody wants you more than anything in the world, and people have talked about it, being married to somebody who's that passionate about them, having anyone look at you in that way. Do you get off on this?
I think people do to an extent. I mean, even whether they admit it or not, it's something about being wanted. And like you said, all eyes on me, and I am the center of attention. Maybe some women, that is an issue for some women that do this, that they feel like they're just so gorgeous, so beautiful, that it's not even maybe about the money. They just feel like, oh, all these men want me, so here I am. I don't know. It's so hard to, it's almost like you got to put yourself in their position, and it's so hard because I don't know. But.
Well, there was this lady.
I was wondering, like, the men, I think they're also going because they're looking for that comfort, that, oh, baby, you're wonderful. They want to hear that from these women, even though they're just some random woman who could give two shits about them. They get to hear it, and it makes them feel good for those, 20, 40 minutes or whatever. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
All right, so here's a different perspective on prostitution. And this is from the chat. So Eric is bringing up some really good conversation here. Sex is already for sale, Eric says. It's sold to us in our car, beers, numerous other items. Sex sells. And so on some level, he's saying that we're supporting prostitution in all of its ways. And I'm going to shut my mouth right now because I'm in advertising. So go ahead, you guys, talk.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, porn. Hello. That's prostitution in a way. I mean, they're getting paid for sex, right? It may be both ways, and both, they're all getting money for this act, whether it's on film or not. I think it's in a similar kind of way, but we don't consider them prostitutes. We just consider them porn stars. But really, they're doing the same.
Because they're on film. Just on film.
Yeah, right.
Well, you put anything on film and it legitimizes it. But what about specifically advertising? What about the fact that every time you look at a beer commercial, the latest Super Bowl ads, did you guys see that, some of those? I'm going to call out some car companies here, but Fiat was like, it was over the top. For me and my daughter, we were just like.
Yeah, some stuff I don't even, it's like, do I want to let my daughter watch? She's 11. Do I want her to watch regular TV? Because you're right. I mean, he's right. There's sex is everywhere now, and there's no shame in anybody's game with just advertising it. And it does, sitting and watching TV, I'm almost like censoring what my daughter watches on regular TV almost, and that's crazy. But he's right, that is the way we are, it seems like, nowadays. The sexier, the better.
Well, I think, because I said this is my standard feminist statement, but, like, growing up in a patriarchal society where everything has been geared towards men, yet female sexuality has been exploited, and that's the one way women have gotten power. Maybe they can't be a blacksmith or I don't know, but they can, they can flaunt their body and men pay attention. So maybe there's some sort of, like, I don't know.
No, there's definitely some truth that there is some power behind having that, owning that sexual space and owning that energy and having men swoon and all those different things around you. I was going to bring it back, and I know this isn't entirely linked to what you said, so I'm going to try and make it. One of the things I've liked about my generation is that people are getting, I think guys with their shirts off and their six-packs and their whatever, they're hot too. So if I'm going to see like a beer commercial, I'm going to see, you're going to start showing me some hot men in it. And I don't want to see the men that look like the guy I'm dating, right, or whatever. I want to see some hot-ass guys. And I think we're starting to see that. I think men and their sexuality we're owning it. And, of course, I swoon over gay guys all the time, right, because I'm like, some of them are just packing nice. But there's something to be said. Now, I'm still not going to pay for it, but I like seeing it.
I will say this. You know that my little DJ porn star guy that came to visit?
Yes.
So, in a sense, he prostituted himself to me because I paid an additional $100 for him to stay a day longer. I was like, hell yeah, that's $100. Like, that's some good stuff. Like, I would gladly spend $100 for him to stay another day. So, in the same way, he kind of prostituted himself a little bit.
All right, but it happens. Okay, so let's talk about there's an obvious time when there's a transaction of money. It's crystal clear when I say, give it up, here's some cash. But you bring up a really, really good point for your full meal deal. That was awesome. That was awesome. How many times in life do you see women do that all the time? There's women sleeping their way through corporate America. There's men sleeping their way through it.
Oh, yeah.
There are, you name it. What's the difference? Why is it illegal when he goes tit for tat? And so the question I was asking is who's to blame? It really does come down for me is what is it about this law? Because, and you can ask yourself about a lot of laws that really only violate the person that acts upon them, right? Like, you start doing crack, maybe not the smartest thing, but maybe it should be your right to. And so I don't want to bring those all into it, but there are so many weird things where it's okay in certain situations and not in others, and it's just like,
right.
Okay, you're underage. I get it. That's probably not the smartest thing.
Right.
Yeah. I know I've seen marriages where women may want a new BMW and will withhold until they get that car.
Right. You're not getting that until I get my car.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't getting the blowjob until I get my car. All right, we're going to take it here. I'm with tonight. We are talking about prostitution. Who is to blame with Chloe Cohen?
Hello.
Adriana Pereira.
Who's to blame?
Myself, Ermine Nomir, and Tara Little. Okay, we have about 5 minutes left in the show right now, and I want to know from you ladies, completely honest, and each of you have about a minute, what situation would you give yourself up for? Like, in what situation would you say, yeah, I'll be the prostitute?
That DJ, I'm telling you, I would have paid $500.
It was that good. It was that good.
You don't even know. Actually, I found the statistics, right? He wrote this out. He was a DJ. It was 17 minutes long times 130 minutes beats per minute equaled 2,210 thrusts divided by 35 orgasms.
You had 35 orgasms?
In 17 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. I would pay $500 to have that again.
Okay,
I must not understand what's going on there.
Letter. You need to give everybody that DJ's name.
We're going to talk about that in the after show because I need to be filled in on what happened on that situation.
Okay, but
I don't after show. Put it.
It was 63.142857 thrusts per orgasm. which means 35 divided by 17 equals 2.058824 orgasms per minute. Oh.
Okay, so he wasn't spinning records. Y'all was spinning.
Yeah. He
Okay.
recorded, this is how hot it was. He recorded a set, uploaded it, put it on my computer, pressed play, came in the bedroom, started doing the thing, and so he had it all worked out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But I can't believe
What
that
are you
it just,
calling an orgasm? Because I'm like, when I have an orgasm, it goes for like minutes on end, right? It's
Right.
it's like the best feeling in the world, high on whatever for like 7 minutes. But it's never like because that's like every 30. I would do what?
That's a whole nother. Chloe done started another show on us. That's we gotta talk about that.
It's like every.
and it was
Oh gosh.
the skill this man had. It was tantric sex. It was all mind fucking.
Okay.
So when that happened,
This is why men. This is why men get married. Then that's why I mean. If you, wow, they say the way to a man's heart. What? I can tell you the way to a woman's. What? Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
I am absolutely shocked. I hate to say it, but I would have paid for that
understand
too.
why I've been fucked ever since that happened, because I'm like, nobody's ever gonna compare to that. Ever.
Never.
Right? But
I would have to create another record.
Close.
Wow, this is mind-boggling.
Exactly.
I didn't mean to boggle your mind, but I just want everyone to know it is possible.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
I will be 35 in August, or
Okay, and when did this happen?
07, 5 years ago.
Okay, so this goes to our age, like right around 30. I mean, you just start like your sex goes to another level. You are very outspoken, very open with it, everything, and I'm wondering whether that's part of it, is just being able to be open. That, you know what, I'm like, I don't care about the stat sheet. She still has, you gonna keep that paper forever, because that was 5 years ago.
You need to go ahead and frame that.
I know, I'm like, laminate.
Exactly, laminate that.
Okay, but before you laminate it, make copies. I'll give you my address after the show. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Okay, here's what we have tonight. We didn't necessarily know who's to blame, because we're still asking the question, is prostitution an issue? But at least we understand now the times where it's okay for us. I'm going to give every other woman a couple seconds to say, is there a time, what would you do? Hadriana, Tara, myself. I can go first if you want.
Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead and go for that.
When would I? It's just so hard because I've had bad sex for less, right? I think I'd have to be in a pretty safe, comfortable environment. I mean, I go back to the indecent proposal, where it's got to be someone I actually want to do something with, and there has to be something greater than money in it for me. I don't really care that much about money. There's a principle, there's a cause, there's something I ultimately want. You know, freedom, peace, world peace, end child hunger. All of those would work. I'd give up some ass for that. Let's see here. What is it really? And it doesn't have to be, that big. But if I really thought that in doing so, there would be some other greater outcome for someone greater than myself, I would definitely give up a little of the good stuff. What about you?
I get to go last if I'm married.
Okay.
I feel the same way. Like that, money's not gonna get me, but if your heart's there, it's more about that personal connection than anything. So.
Adriana, go ahead.
Well, I do not support prostitution or pornography in any way, and I don't think there would ever be any desperate situation that I would find myself to have to be selling my body for something like that.
Y'all heard it here. She is absolutely gorgeous. You ain't getting it unless you're the one. All right, let's go.
Exactly.
You're up.
I'm going to have to agree with Hadriana because I just couldn't see myself doing that. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to get killed when I walk in the other room, so I would never do that. No, not me.
You heard it here. Everyone laid out what it is that they ultimately feel. Thank you so much for spending time with us on G-Spot. We'll see you on Thursday, where who knows what it is that we'll talk about. We'll let you know about it then. Thank you so much for joining us. See you in the after show.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, that is a wrap. So, Melvin.
I can't believe I found those stats.
Hey, that was
That
a nice
was
show.
Fierce.
Really nice. I like
you
that.
brought it.
Chloe bring the heat.
0.004.
Chloe kills it tonight.
I'm sorry.
You do it every night, Chloe.
Yes,
No,
she does.
it's just that this is why I said I want to be on the show, because I am very loud. Especially if we're talking about sex, man. And like after this DJ experience, my whole world shifted. I really feel it's my duty to help women learn how to reach their full potential sexually, because I think a lot of women are unaware that they're capable of that.
No, I completely agree with you, and I love that you stepped out into that zone and actually told us that we can get 2 orgasms in a minute, but we're willing to even go there.
But I have
Tremaine is stuck
no
on that.
So Chloe.
Take 2 to tango, baby. There's no way that would have happened with anyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I can't imagine that would mess someone up for life. I don't know. I mean,
Chloe now is damaged goods. She is.
yeah, you're going to compare every man from here on out to this one, and it's not going to happen.
As her gauge. And I think
You're going to have to lower that one down, because that might never happen again.
I think it's unfair because
that was once in a lifetime.
No.
you experience something once in a lifetime, and it's like lightning. It
Larry,
doesn't
can you
strike
see
Never strikes twice.
Larry,
But
can you
this is all the same time where, I have MS and I have all these symptoms. My symptoms disappeared for 4 days.
Cheers.
Because of that sex. Because I was having 2 orgasms per minute. That
Damn. You had a cleansing.
That released.
Yeah, if I were you, I would have gotten into the sex profession. I may never need medicine again.
You had a
I
cleansing going
don't
on.
think that would happen with just anyone. I think it really had to do with the connection I had with that guy. I don't think that could happen with anyone else. You know?
Well,
Well, mate.
But what you have to remember, Chloe, you will never, chances of having that again, it's 1 in a million.
Consider yourself lucky.
Right.
I do. Oh God, I do.
So don't judge every guy that comes along, because you might have a good connection and you might, cancel him because of what you experienced, 5 years ago.
The bar is so high. I think the bar is so high that even the low is high. That might be what happened.
Yeah, but see, like anyone that I have been with since then, the bar's always going to be set high. It was set high before he even existed. He just raised it a lot.
Why did you only pay $100 for an extra day then?
Like he had to go back to work.
That was 5
That's all
years
it
ago.
cost to change his flight.
That's
know, right?
how much it costed to change the flight back then.
Yeah,
Right?
You probably should have paid kicked out a little more than that.
If he didn't have to go back to work, then he probably would have stayed longer. But
You should have told him to get a job there.
See, but the problem, he may have given me 2 orgasms per minute, but that guy could not sit down and hold an intellectual conversation.
Right. So that was a trade-off.
Right. So you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
My hope is that one day I can even, I don't know, I'll find a good mesh. I'll never have that sex experience again, but you never know. Anything's possible.
By the way, ladies, this was a very good show. I was on the outside. I had myself muted in here, so I wasn't hearing what was going on, but I was on the outside, and I was laughing. I was cracking up, especially with Chloe.
I'm sorry. I think sometimes I don't have a control.
No, but it's good. It's good, Chloe. Your Chloe-isms.
Wait, somebody has the video on. Somebody's got to hit mute.
Mine's muted.
I don't have it up.
I think it's you, Herman, or it's Larry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I
us.
think sometimes I don't have a control.
No, but it's good. It's good, Chloe. Your Chloe-isms.
Wait, somebody has
That is you, Herman.
mute. Can someone please look to hit mute? Please, please, please.
It's you.
I do
Yeah,
not
because your
have
bar keeps going
But
crazy.
your bar's moving.
Yeah, but it's all quiet.
There we go. Something changed.
Oh my goodness.
Melvin just muted.
It stopped when we muted it. It's still going on. She got a screen open somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it still me?
Yeah.
If
But
you
it's
hear,
it's
no,
on.
I don't. We don't hear it anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's probably me. It's always me.
No, it was me. It was me 3 times before, so.
No, that's right. That's right. So it's always one of us, right? That's an easy way to say it.
It's a tag team effort. Sorry,
Wow, Chloe, that is like beyond hot. That is just fierce. I am so.
You don't even know. You really, honest. I don't think most people ever get that kind of experience in their life.
No, I will have to. One of these shows, I will tell you about my experience, and I will have people on the flow. So y'all get ready.
Nice.
I'm not telling you what it is, but I'm going to tell you the story. And
Don't talk about it Thursday. I won't be here Thursday. So
you won't be here Thursday. Don't go there.
No.
Oh, Eric's joining us, but he's dark screened.
Yeah, I haven't got my video up. Hey, Chloe, thanks for not giving my name out. I really appreciate that.
What? What did I say?
He's trying to imply that he was the DJ, I think.
You know what? That was the funniest thing ever. That was Eric Cage while y'all wishing that he was the Rustin DJ. That was awesome. That is so funny.
Sheet.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Chloe pulled out the stat
I
sheet.
think I'm going to scan that right now before...
I need you to post that. Just so I
Damn
can
that! You gotta like mount that on a wall or something. Put it on
You
like
really
a plaque
should.
or something.
Wait, let's green screen her. Wait, Chloe, put it back up, please. I didn't green screen you.
Yeah, but it's not.
You can hardly see it.
I can see it just fine, and more importantly, I can think about what is going on. 2.05.
That should have been recorded. You could have captured that moment again and again.
I'm going to
That was
admit,
worth recording.
I had a few friends who got to watch us on web camera. They said it was the hottest thing they'd seen. Like we put porn to shame.
Whoa!
Now you done
Throwing that out there. It was off. And do you know my crazy? Have you met Boom Slapper, the crazy Dutch bald guy, on here yet?
No.
Well, he got to watch. So did Jackie.
Jackie.
It was a weird time in my life.
I'm fucking feeling left out.
Well, I would regret that time of your life. Hell.
Oh no, I don't
regret it.
But the only problem
Embrace
is
it.
it's making now kind of boring. You know, after
Oh,
you
no,
do
no.
something like this, it's like, oh, yeah.
Wow.
You catch some stallion to come along
Yeah,
and kick in.
I hope. But I will say my little Latino lover boy I've had for 3 years, the only reason why it works is because he opened it dirty, and that's why it works. Otherwise, he would have been kicked to the curb a while ago.
That is so funny. Otherwise, he would have been kicked to the curb a while ago. That is so...
Man.
Because after you have an experience like this, you don't fuck around. You're like, I'm not taking mediocre sex anymore.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. I agree with you on that one, girl. Was there any toys involved? Was it just the two of you? Was it...
I think she's asking, how the fuck did he do
Yeah,
that?
what happened?
It was the second swing.
We need to play-by-play.
I'll tell you details, dude. I got this sex swing, right? So it hooks up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, your legs are in stirrups. He comes at you. You got free room to move.
Oh, I gotta get the swing. Oh, wow.
But
Oh,
I
you need to do a show with the swing behind you one day.
Yeah. Actually, he fucked me out of the swing. The swing broke out of the wall. I came all over him, and he caught me. Hello.
How did you not marry that man? I don't.
Brown chicken breast.
That's the kind you just strap to the wall. You just chain him up. He ain't going nowhere.
He was great at sex, right? But he wasn't intelligent. He didn't have the education.
No, that's why you just chain him up in a room and you can feed him and take care of him. But
No, that's right.
nobody needs to know he's even there.
I found a video I made of him because, like, in the beginning of that whole thing, I was in film school and we did some little documentary. And because I was gonna be with him, I just decided I'd film him in the hotel room, spinning, shirtless. Whew. And Donna was here, and I found the video and I played it for her, and she's like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "I know, this was my problem." But
No, I don't know what's going on in the background. We are talking right now about the most amazing series of orgasms I've ever heard about. Chloe was breaking it down for us in her swing, and show them the piece of paper.
That,
Girl had
see it.
35 orgasms in 17 minutes, or 2.05 something orgasms a minute.
don't even make sense to me. I can't even
It makes
fathom
me
that.
up even thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that really fucking happened.
So what you're saying is that he wasn't really trying.
Right. but I will say he was on medication, which helped greatly.
What the fuck What was that called?
I know.
Yeah, what was he taking?
Does that medication start with an M and end with an H?
No, it
Have an
was like
in the middle of it?
a Viagra drug type drug. That
Yeah.
You know that's one thing about me. Now, if I take a Viagra pill, you might as well call the fucking ambulance. Carry your ass away right now.
Wow, I've never tried a Viagra. I've never. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's about all you can say is just wow.
Okay, I got one other question for Chloe. How big was he?
Oh, wow.
He was
If you had to describe it, was he like?
He was average.
See? I'm telling everybody. I am telling everybody.
It's not the size of the ship that makes
True.
the
People always
Like
Motion of the ocean.
the motion of the ocean.
so the motion in the ocean. Oh my gosh, that's got to be a show.
I bet you want to have a cigarette right now. I ain't even did
I
that.
was with a guy who had a penis that was like this big. Oh, and it was amazing. We had
Really?
great sex, so it really wasn't. And then the guy with the biggest penis I ever seen didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Okay, so I couldn't do this and I couldn't do this. If I have to like put my arms across, no, it'll rip me to shreds. But
I'm
this
with you,
is,
Hermione.
like I'm gonna do myself at this point.
That's
Like,
gonna piss me off. That's just enough to make you get slapped and get out of my bed.
Right.
Well, the question is how big is too big? That's another good question. How big is too big?
That's
Write that down for the next show.
That's another
No,
show.
not on Thursday, Tuesday, next Tuesday. Y'all gonna, I don't want to
How
just.
big is
Too big. I think anything bigger than like 7.5 inches is painful.
no,
have
but
to
I
get a
have a
ruler.
different thing. There's
Well,
there's
is it length or is it circumference?
It's both.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, because there's
you could
some
be
really
a guy
small
with
but
like
wide.
a 3-inch, but like packed like a soda can.
That's
No,
true.
nobody wants to go to that.
No.
You know what I think is interesting? And somebody said this to me. They're like, have you tried it? And I'm like, no, but the Red Bull can. I always joke about Red Bull,
Have you tried a Red Bull
but
can?
there's something about that slimline can that's like,
Oh wow! I never thought about that.
Yeah, I know. I
Never.
didn't never. John Banavans was like, Ermine. I was like, no.
You know,
But-
somebody's going to come up with a homemade vibrator off of a Red Bull can just because you said that in the show.
Hey, you know what? Send me the Red Bulls. I want
Yeah,
Red Bull to
right.
start sending me some free, sugar-free Red Bulls. But I'm telling you, there's something about it. That's my nickname now, Red Bull. It'll give you wings.
But 7-minute wings.
I will take the 7-minute wings or the wings that'll give you 2 in a minute. Whatever. Just as long as they ain't hot wings. Yeah, I want a hoodoo wings. I want those wings. Take me away wings. My gosh.
My wife is calling me, so I got a jet. I'll be back. I'll see you guys later. Have fun.
Bye.
All right, see.
I'm gonna go try to beat Chloe's record. See you guys later.
Good luck.
Let us know how that works out.
Yeah.
Eric, Chris.
Yeah, what's going on, Joe? Yeah, these usually come on after the show.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe. So, Joe, did you see the show you saw the show from the outside, right?
Right, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I caught a piece of it.
Okay.
I only caught a piece of it, so I didn't have
You're in the hangout, which is essentially it, carrying on, but
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the after
This is the after show, right?
the afterglow.
Yeah.
Afterglow. I like that.
Hey, Joe's a cook, so Joe cooks on Sundays.
Yeah, Joe cooks on Sundays.
Oh, let me tell you, that's not all I can do. The kitchen is not my only skills. Just saying, I need to invite me to the show more often.
Just throw that out there.
Saying.
hey, I'm listening. I'm definitely listening. I'm like, do tell. Do.
I'm just saying, you know, I had lesbian roommates. I took notes. Works out.
Nice.
Oh, hey, Joe's the one, Tara, who made the dumplings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that.
Yeah, and I just posted the recipe today.
Okay. I'm definitely pulling that one up.
he did a very good job too.
Yeah.
Did a very good job.
I didn't follow
So,
my
so
recipe. I didn't
Adriana.
follow-
Hey, Adriana. Sorry, Joe.
No, okay.
How was your first show, my dear?
You did great.
I barely said a word.
No, you did great.
That's how we all started, though. It was your
Yeah.
first show, so.
You did
Then you'll be a
great.
pro like Chloe in a minute.
Yeah, right.
No, but it's really good to have you because you're definitely youth, and you are so like you're like no, I'm matter of fact. I ain't doing it. That is so
Right.
good to have that. Where I'm kind of like,
That was a good perspective.
It was great. It was a great perspective.
And
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you got some creepy guy named Joe Boland following you. It's weird.
Yes, definitely follow on Google Plus. But you know, I was impressed. You guys did a good job, like marketing it. We got, we're up to some serious numbers. Who knows? Like, hopefully, we keep growing at these clips. This is fun.
Oh, man,
I
this
mean, with
is-
a name like G-Spot, I mean, you guys have got it nailed. I mean,
Yeah.
That's it, right there. It's like, okay, a bunch of women talking about sex. Tuning in. Thank you very much.
Definitely hoping for
You
that.
can say that about the
I
topic.
do.
You said
Joe.
tuning in.
Joe, the ladies are all hot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. They're all gorgeous ladies. It's like a win, 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 win. My God. Situation.
Tell your friends they can watch the show, too.
Okay, so there's a couple things
Funny,
going
'cause
on.
part of me, like, I want that DJ to see the show. Even though I haven't talked to him in like 4 years, I want him to know that I still talk about that shit.
Can I ask you guys a strange question? This is what I thought was interesting. So we kind of had like a topic or a quick outline that I wrote out for the show, but it seems to be when we start talking about who we are and our experiences every single week, that's really the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think we should talk about the
I
topic.
think it's best if we just have some kind of like general topic to give us, something to start with, and then it seems like everybody has, their experiences to chime in with or whatever.
If I can pipe in for just a second, you can equate it to good comedy. The best comedy comes from personal experiences. The best conversations come from personal experiences, no matter what you're talking about. That's what makes for the best stuff. Because you can relate to it.
Yeah.
I'm muting you.
No, I completely agree with you on that one, Joe. And, you know, we've had some really good moments when it is that we can be who we are at the core without the facade. And Chloe's like the just unravels and takes it off. And if I do, I'm like in tears. And, but, you know, everybody has their different way, their different thing. But I'm wondering how we get that up closer or sooner in the show. I mean, just get to the heart of it. But it almost is like every single show, it's like we got to get comfortable again.
Well, you do a little monologue like any show. And you introduce everything. You say, "Here's what's coming up," blah blah, and then you just dive into it. And then
like what you all did tonight.
Yeah.
We could have gone the full hour tonight and had fun.
The show had rhythm.
Yeah.
It had rhythm.
It was fabulous.
And I'm gonna have to go back and miss it now. So.
Kind of like that DJ.
Have you ever tried to look him up, Chloe?
Oh, he's my friend on Facebook. I sent him a message, like, I don't know, 8 months ago, just being like, hey, just want to say hey. Never heard back, and I was like, the problem is like, once I start that, and there's any kind of, like, if he were to message me back, then it'd get the whole wheel spinning again, and my head would be all fucked up again. So it's probably best that we don't communicate because, and you know another fucked up thing? He fucking named his dog Chloe.
That's because the
Okay, I'm not quite sure that's a good thing.
I think it is. I think it's a great thing.
Like that poor guy has to be reminded of me every.
Yes. But evidently, yeah, you were memorable for him to do that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just like he was memorable for me, I'm sure I fucked him up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did.
Chloe, do your thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I tell you what, like, the second that man communicated with me again, I'd be like, I'm coming to St. Louis.
Here's the funny thing. I'm looking up at my ceiling going, I wonder where the ceiling joists are. I wonder where the swing would hang out.
would be able to
You gotta break out the stud finder and.
Yeah, exactly. Dang it, that's a pipe.
It's 1 minute, ladies.
Well,
1 minute.
I would love to do one on, I would love to do a show at some point on like swings, poles, not like actual like, you know, sex toys, but more like sexual arousal type.
What about like
sensuality
and like the sheets where you can like cuff yourself in? You know, they make these rubber sheets where they actually have cuffs built in.
The latex?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know. That'd be pretty cool.
But that could be very uncomfortable, though.
No, it's not.
Not with enough sweat.
Hey, you know what? Y'all need to get a. It would probably be good if one of y'all shows y'all got a couple porn stars on here.
I don't know any points.
Y'all need to. Y'all need to.
I'm saying.
We do know some.
Violet Blue is a popular one. I don't know if she.
Oh, and I know a really good friend of hers. I bet she would come on.
Yeah, I mean to talk about the pleasure side from the professional side, or are they both hand and foot, or are they just like, hey, this is just damn, gotta go to work today, or hey, can't wait to get to work day. You know what I mean? I would actually wonder that.
I'd love to have somebody on to talk about it. Let's make a pact when we get to X number of viewers that we can do that, because I think tonight's was really, really
good.
Can I be the token white guy?
Oh man,
that is absolutely hilarious. Okay. Well, that is a wrap. I'm going to venture to say thank you, ladies. I had a bunch of fun. You guys took a lot of my. Can we go off the air now?
Melvin has to quit.